Hello my friends, how are you doing today? I'm excited to be joining you and sharing my favorites for the month of, here's where I always have to think a second, it's September, the month of September. We're now in October, and yeah, I've got some most used products that I'm gonna pretty much work into a full face where I'm able to. So cheers to that. Oh, I've got that Starbucks Fall Blend, the K-Cups. That is my favorite, absolute favorite. Only my skincare and sunscreen is on my skin right now, and I'm gonna pull in my favorite primer, my most used primer of the month, I'm pretty sure. It's this Wet n Wild Glass Skin. It's gonna brighten your skin, give you crystal-like skin, and it does have vitamin C. So this is really cool. This is an awesome primer. It just has this kind of like yellowish, creamy look to it, but you pop it on the skin. Just this immediate juiciness, like glow on top of the skin, no shimmer. But just the texture of this makes your skin absolutely like dazzling just with nothing else on it. I feel like it's kind of a nice added moisture step. I feel like I've noticed various foundations wearing well on top of this. I don't think oily skin would love this or need this. You can see that immediate radiance that comes from it. It does add some tackiness to your skin too. But yeah, I've been loving that, especially if I think I'm gonna go into a fuller coverage, like base look all over my skin. I feel like I can always use that extra hydration underneath. So I pulled in every foundation that I feel was like a rediscovered love here. I've really been wearing a lot of IT Cosmetics, just the regular CC cream. I wear this in light. You know, it's got that SPF 50. I really love how pretty this looks on the skin. Wears awesome all day. I've just been wanting to reach for it a lot. And then I've also kind of been getting into my illumination. I have like a jumbo size of this, which is actually in medium, which can work for me too. But I enjoy the heck out of both of those. I believe Beauty Skin Finish Foundation. I've used a lot of this month. I've kind of explained this as a really good middle of the road foundation. So it's giving medium, strong medium coverage. It's kind of like a hybrid of Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy and Photo Focus Matte. It's sort of in between those. I really feel like it's the type of foundation a lot of different skin types could enjoy. So loving that. And then there have been some occasions, I just wanted to give this a shout out. I don't feel like this has been getting worn constantly, but there were a few different days where I really needed impeccable staying power, and this delivered for me. And it's the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Luminous Matte Full Coverage Foundation, which I wear in Custard 220N. And I tell you, like, no touch-ups required, looking fresh all day. And it really is just supremely full coverage. I actually used a little bit of this diluted on Belle, mainly for the color, because she's kind of got a tan going. I needed to pull a foundation out that was going to be deep enough, but yet I didn't think she needed all that coverage. I mean, she got perfect skin, but I just kind of diluted it with some moisturizer, and it looks so pretty. I did that for the pageant that happened this past weekend. So yeah, she was in this county fair pageant. They call it a children's pageant. The reason why she got into it, and I'm going to do regular CC cream today, by the way, but the reason she got into it was there was a town fair pageant, like for our own town, and there was something sent out to parents, and sometimes she sees me when I'm like opening up the emails and stuff through the school messaging system, and I was like, oh, there's a pageant over here for our little fair, and she was like, I really want to do it, but it wasn't going to work like for her schedule, and she was crushed, and I'm like, what the heck, like this kid's never done anything like this before, why is she so like, but she was crying and she was really upset. I'm like, maybe I can find something else. I knew our county fair was coming up the next month, and turns out there was something she could do there. It had like 3 categories: sportswear, fancy dress, what do they call that? Evening gown? Is it an evening gown for a kid? I don't know. And then they ask him one question on stage. And I'm like, okay, I think, well, you can do this. And guys, I have never done pageantry myself. I feel like maybe I would have enjoyed it, but I never had any pageant opportunities. It's kind of odd because since being here in Southern Illinois, I guess maybe it's just some of the people I know around here, but I've been asked to judge Miss Illinois and MC Miss Illinois. And I mean, that's a major pageant. The winner goes to Miss America. Like, I've volunteered with those things, but you know, I've done everything but actually be in a pageant myself. To me, it does seem really stressful. And honestly, it was stressful to think of her doing that, but she seemed to really embrace the idea that this was just for fun, and you know, there was no expectation of any certain outcome. You know, you just go and enjoy yourself. And I let her know, like, there's probably some kids here who do this thing regularly and maybe have a little more experience than you. That's okay. You just enjoy. Don't feel any pressure for anything. Honestly, I just think she wanted to get a fancy dress, which I ordered from Amazon. I'm probably the worst pageant mom ever. I ordered a fancy dress for $35 on Amazon the week leading up to the pageant, because we've been through all this sickness in our house and I was not pageant focused whatsoever. And then I'm like, look at my calendar. Oh yeah, that's coming. And so I ordered her activewear and everything on Amazon. Thank God it fit. My mom was able to take in like her sports bra at the sides because that was too big. But other than that, like the shoes for the dress, everything worked. And when she got out there on stage, I'm thinking like this confidence, this swagger, like she is just happy to be up there. You could see it all over her face that she was truly enjoying herself. She answered her question so well, the onstage question. She's in 2nd grade. She just came of age to get in this pageant category last month, turning 8, and there were kids in 4th grade competing with her, and I think one of those girls won, and Belle was one of the runners-up, and I just thought, that is awesome. That's really cool. Every little kid there did great. I think kind of like having to judge kids this age is kind of like, I don't know. They all did a super job. And I know nobody really came for this story, but like if that kid was falling down left and right on stage and blubbering her words out, I still would have thought she did great. So that's almost a full pump of IT Cosmetics CC cream just blended all over my skin. For concealer, well, I've been switching up my various concealers a lot. I have been reaching for my Bobbi Brown skin corrector stick in Bisque pretty consistently underneath whatever I put on. I just really like the convenience of this stick, and the tone is so perfect. That corrective kind of peachy color. I love that so much. And by the way, the blending method with the CC cream, I use my little double-ended brush because this is kind of like the recommended brush from IT Cosmetics, but this is the e.l.f. one. I use this all the time. But I could also be satisfied using a sponge or a sponge to blend this into. See, that does such good work for brightening, neutralizing any discoloration down in there. So good. So I think because I've been using that so much, I felt very free to reach for whatever the heck concealer I grab, you know? Today I'm just grabbing Wet n Wild Incognito. This is in light beige. I've just been bouncing around a lot with concealers and with eyeshadow palettes, considering I've been trying a lot of new things. So we just dab that on kind of the high points, the dark points. And I like going in with the small end of this brush first, and you see what I'm doing? I'm just kind of spreading. I'm evening out where that concealer has been placed. And then I can go in with the larger side in a second and really like dab, dab, dab over it. See what I mean there? And I have been having really, really good staying power with the IT Cosmetics CC cream too, I must say. Okay, all blended in, looking really even, really brightened up. I think I'm all blended in. Setting powder, yet another area where I've been bouncing around a lot, but I've very consistently been using my e.l.f. Halo Glow little powder puff thing. So this wouldn't be the only thing on the market like this that you could use. I mean, it's just a smallish triangular shaped puff. But today I'm going to use my one size powder. This is in just translucent. And I believe this is a small size that I have. Yeah, this would be small. I also used this over the weekend setting Belle's makeup. I thought it looked, I mean, could there be an easier job? Put makeup on this flawless skinned child. We didn't go too hard. I used the Huda Rose Quartz palette actually for like kind of a pinky dusty rose thing on her eyes. I did put on a half lash, which I thought would give a little impact, which that was an experience. It was actually easier to put lashes on her than to line her lash line. That was tricky. A lot of blinky movement. But the skin just looked amazing, and I was just like, wow, to have this skin again. Okay, so we're all kind of set here. We're ready to go. The bronzer thing or contour thing I've been using tons of is my Milani Liquid Contour in the shade Ginger. In case you haven't seen the video, I mean, I've used the highlighter they make like this and the brightener concealer type thing that they make, but I feel like this contour is by far like the best item. I really like the ease with which it blends. It's like super easy, but just the right amount, you know? It's just crazy easy how I'm just grazing my brush over this stuff, which is my Sephora 56. And I'm getting like the perfect level of bronziness, natural bronziness that I would want, and a little bit of contour. Is it not just the fastest process ever? It blends out, because it is a liquid consistency, it blends out even faster than any cream that I have, even though I've got some really easy to work with cream contours. This is just so great. The one thing I don't like, which I have to tell you, this little spongy part, it touches the cap, and then the cap gets stuff on it. Don't love that aspect. Blush favorite has got to be my blushes from Believe Beauty. I love these two-tone blushes that they make. They're called Major Monochrome Matte and Shimmer Blush Duo. This is one of my newer ones. It's the color called Gallivanter. It's a little bit more, you know, neutral and toasty, but they're so pigmented and so nice. So I just pick up some of the matte. And again, this is a nice little toasty, perfect for your fall looks type of shade. And then the shimmer is not so much a highlight, it's more so for me like a blush topper. So I can get kind of a glowy look going on my skin, but it's not so light that it's highlight. So first off, this is just the blush. I'm building just a little at a time because it is actually really pigmented. These are so good. So good. And just the regular blushes too. If you find a regular pan of blush, I mean, just powder texture in general from this brand is awesome, but these are so fun. If you like playing with blush and different finishes, you get that where you want it. And then this lovely little part right here. Get a little bit of that. Look how pretty that is. Oh, why is it so satisfying to see that step go on? I love that. And you know what else I love? The pretzels from Sonic. The hot pretzel, the warm, perfect pretzel twist, and they give it to you with like a little thing of cheese dip. I heard somebody raving on TikTok about how good they were. And so I thought, after I dropped the girls off at cheerleading, I got Bubba with me, we're gonna run over to Sonic and get one of those pretzels. And I mean, the texture, the outer just perfection, the inner softness and warmth, the perfect level of salt, the cheese dip. I mean, now the cheese dip, we're talking, you're peeling off the top. It's not like they just put warm cheese in a cup for you, which would be ideal probably. But still, the warmth of that fresh pretzel. I mean, it could not have been any more fresh, okay? And then you put that in with the cheese, it almost like melts it a little bit. It's so good. The best pretzel I've ever eaten out anywhere. Love it. For some people, I mean, that may be the big takeaway from this video. You've heard me talk about some of these products before. You know I like Believe Beauty, blah, blah, blah. But the pretzel, big info. So my blush is on. I've got that glow. I'm going to do my brows. And I'm here to say I've got some brow favorites. I really have been reaching for these products from Kosas a lot. And this Brow Pop pencil, dual action defining pencil, which I wear in dark brown. This is a square shaped pencil. And I'm just here to say, other brands need to catch on to doing a square because it is so easy to hold. And this is like a micro teardrop shape. Okay, so it feels a lot like the experience of using just one of your random skinny brow pencils, just slightly thicker. The texture is perfect, the tone is great. The secure feeling I have of this square shape in my hand, it's so solid. And I started realizing, like, that's why I'm loving this so much, is because there is this added level of ease that those super skinny pencils, or really even a normal size round pencil, doesn't have. However it rests in my hand, it's just boom, it's secure. There's a major difference in application with the square shape. What a great decision. So I'm getting my brows filled in with that. And then this topper part is kind of like less essential. I've got other gels that I like. I still think Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt like reigns supreme, but this is a nice little partner to this Air Brow in dark brown. By the way, when I went over Belle's brows, I just used that like a tiny bit, okay? She's got these really great thick brows, so I went over it with this, and then I brushed through with a spoolie like I've never gone through brows before, and I got them like just so nice and kind of fluffy, and but yet more defined than they were, and a little bit darker, and the look was so good. Like I was so pleased, and they really like held in place Anybody else watching Handmaid's Tale again? We are fully, like, caught up. So we're now at the point where we're waiting for the new episode every week, which is annoying, isn't it? Also, my Bold and Beautiful watchers. Anybody else think something's up with this whole Brooke called Child Protective Services on Thomas? Anybody else think that she didn't really do that? I'm convinced Thomas was behind that. I think he somehow manufactured that call because Brooke is acting way too just innocent and not even a hint of like maybe she was involved. She's having conversations with Liam. She's not bringing it up one bit. Yeah, I don't think she did it. I think there's more to it. I think Thomas, you know, yeah, he's changed. Maybe he's doing well, but I still think he's capable of some devious little thing like that. Which is actually kind of a big thing because it might be breaking up Brooke and Ridge. Who knows? Just speculating here. I'll keep it brief for those of you who don't watch that show. So yeah, a brow gel, if you've got like perfect brows and you just hit them with some brow gel and then like take a spoolie wand and just brush through like crazy. The look is so nice and fluffy and good, but the square pencil, that's where it's at. I did not pull in a specific eyeshadow palette because I've just been using too many different things. There's not just one where I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, in the spirit of experimentation, I've used a lot of those two Tarte palettes. The ones I showed in the Tarte review, by the way, you gotta see that. You please don't just glaze over and be like, oh, Tarte Holiday, I'm not interested. That review, like, there's some stuff you need to know in that review. But I will say drugstore wise, I have been busting into my Believe Beauty quite a bit more. I had mentioned like my Nearly Nude palette, which I love, all-time love. Sultry Sunset, perfect fall. There's a nice dark brown in there. Great little eyeshadow palettes. What if today I use the blue and we bust out a navy look with this into the blue? This one's called, like I'm looking here, here, here. I think I can pull this together. I'm not sure really where to start. Maybe I go with this kind of like grayish looking silvery shade. Okay, yeah, that's translating a little bit brownish. This is just a formula I love, a formula favorite. These Believe Beauty powder shadows. Just like I was raving on the blushes, they nailed it with the powder texture. So shadows are great, blushes are great, bronzer, whatever, highlighters, whatever you can come up with. That's a cool shade. That's kind of like shifty. But I'm shearing it out and you can see that almost a little bit warm brown. Yeah, this blue one, I have not played with this nearly enough, but I'm kind of craving the navy eyes these days. We're going to now blend with a bare brush. I'm going to use some white. Oh, fabulous. Next comes some beautiful, gosh, it is a satin finish. I was about to say matte navy. Ooh, tap off some excess there. It's pretty soft. The blue is really showing in this. A little bluer than I thought. A look I really enjoyed was the blue look I got out of one of those Tarte palettes. I absolutely adored the way that blue look came together. I'm going to go over to this shade next door. It's got more shimmer and possibly a little more murky quality to it. Yeah, I'm going to lay that down over like center of the lid and kind of overlap the slightly matte blue. I'm not seeing, maybe just a speck of fallout from this, but not much. I'm really trying to reach the crease, and then I'm going to blend with my small pointed brush. No, we're not done on the lid yet. Really pinpointing my crease and making sure this shade is blending into the original crease shade. It's blending easily. This is a good powder texture, okay? And that's not too bright. It's not too bright and blue. Once I kind of pulled in this shade, it actually like kind of deepened it all up a little more than I would have thought. But look how easily that's blending up into the crease. And you could even go back to this shade, which remember, as it shears, translates a bit more brown. And you could use some of that as you blend too. Man, we're really going for everything in this palette. I'm going to this blue right here. And really just easing in. That's coming right in here, not quite to the inner corner. It's doing a fair amount of overlapping. And then the icy one right over here. Of course, memory card fills up the moment I start laying this shade down. But you can really go around the inner corner there. Let it fade up a little bit. Oh, the pigment is so nice, guys. You don't have to struggle at all. There's nothing weird about any of these. Blue is fun. Navy is fun. I'm really feeling it. I'm loving the way these shades layered up. I feel like I'm naturally drawn to probably a little darker blue than this, but I'm still liking it. I'm gonna use some navy blue eyeliner. This is Deep Sea from the Aqua Resist line from Makeup Forever. And I'm just gonna take this across the top. This is what I'd call true navy. And it's super creamy and nice. Where are the kittens, you might ask? I don't know, they must be busy. I can hear them getting into something downstairs, or maybe that's just Bub. Bub's been an early morning walker these days. I don't know if you can tell, but I've got a really deep navy line defining my upper lash line, and I'm going to continue to take this down here and just kind of smudge right over it immediately. A little bit smoky maybe, just a little. I'm going to pull in just a little bit of that deep blue. Very, very tip of the small pointed brush, and just kind of soften out. Oh man, this is satisfying. Really fun look. So I'm going to do mascara now. Shiseido Lash Curler. I didn't pull a specific favorite. You know, I've always got my continual favorite, which is IT Cosmetics Superhero. But I recently picked up this Unlimited mascara from L'Oreal. I had used this in the past, and I kind of liked it. It's the one that's got that little handle that you can move like that and kind of get in at things a little bit better. A rubbery bristle brush, tapered toward the tip. And I just like it. And look, boom. Oh, hello. Inner corner. I really don't know what compelled me to repurchase this particular one, but I just kind of laid eyes on it at Walmart and had one of those, oh yeah, moments. See, it's really handy over here, that little bend. And I love seeing those nice dark lashes have that backdrop with the blue. So pretty. Okay, really pretty eye there. Very happy with that. On lips, I feel like Too Faced has been running away with this category lately. I've been loving my chocolate chip Cocoa Bold lipstick. I wore this in my last video if you want to see that going on, but oh, that chocolate scent. It's kind of like a fake chocolate scent, but I really like it. This is like deep dusty rose with quite a bit of brown in it as well. I love the shade. It's gorgeous, gorgeous fall color. And then I've also been using these a lot. My Pumpkin Spice Latte shade, which is the new one for this season from the Melted Matte line. I feel like I'm just loving these not only for their tone, but the staying power is really impeccable. Pulled out Pumpkin Spice from a previous year, which is just a little more like orangey, a little lighter. What do I do for this look? I think I'm going to go with this Pumpkin Spice color today. Hopefully it works with the blue. Oh, dang it. Anybody else think these Melted Mattes are really good? Like, they really perform. And then to sort of finish off this look, I've been getting back into taking Kosas Cloud Set or some type of powder like this and kind of hitting this area where, again, blush kind of comes together with the under eye and it just sort of smooths out that zone so nicely. Hit the T-zone as well if you think that's going to help your staying power. I'm loving this look. I'm also really loving the blush pairing too. I actually want more. I'll just dab across both shades. Just a little more. Oh, toasty goodness. So this eye is kind of like from a distance, okay, you know, she just got some eye makeup on, but up close, then you kind of see that beautiful blue. I have another favorite that is not related to this makeup look, and I've been experimenting with Confidence in an Eye Cream from IT Cosmetics at nighttime. I've also been using their new Confidence in a Cream that has like, what do they call it, anti-aging armor or something like that. I've been experimenting with both at nighttime, kind of in place of e.l.f. Holy Hydration stuff. on top of Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair Serum, which is an every night thing. I'm not quite convinced that the overall cream is doing something so above and beyond the Holy Hydration. I feel like it's going to take some continued commitment to that product maybe to know, but one thing I can tell you for sure, this eye cream is amazing. It's so balmy. I just really love the texture of it. However, it sat on its way to me. It kind of like all sunk down in here on one side, but it's thick and rich and very balmy. It's exactly what I hoped the Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched eye base was gonna be, but that turned out thinner. And I've gone ahead and, I mean, I've almost used up my entire one here, but I remembered thinking, gosh, they're putting out an eye cream from this face base line. I bet it's gonna be so rich and so thick. And you know, I still use it, obviously. I thought I'm gonna get my money's worth. Use it in the mornings under makeup. My favorite is the Charlotte Tilbury under makeup, the eye cream. Anyways, I thought that was gonna be more like this type of texture, but this is really rich and nice. You really feel like you're smoothing some things out. Like I put it on at nighttime and I just feel like I'm doing something really effective and good for the under eye. Like I don't think I've ever seen a texture that's quite as just wow, pure richness as this. So it says 2% super peptide concentrate for all skin types, anti-fatigue treatment. So really nicely textured eye cream there. It's just one favorite I couldn't leave out. I've got a couple duds that I think I'll mention here. This one, it's maybe controversial, but this Merit stick, not quite doing it for me. On the level of application, I feel like it's great. I wear it in bone. It's called the Minimalist Perfecting Complexion Stick. And I'll use this like pretty much all over my skin as like a foundation and then just build it a little bit, like maybe around the eyes or nose, and it kind of becomes like concealer, foundation and concealer in one. It's a beautiful texture, it's easy to blend out, and it does turn out to have some good coverage. So I'll finish my look, I'll step away from this room and I'll be like, yeah, my makeup's looking good for today. But the staying power is not very good, and I'm not like giving it a ton of trouble in the oil department, but I'll just look back at my face later in the day and be like, wow, I'm not pleased. Stuff's just not hanging on. You know, the under eye looks dull. Like a general wearing away has happened somehow, even though I'm not really touching my skin at all. They put the word minimalist in there. I'm more of a maximalist. Like I was recently, I'm gonna pull in my Huda stick and see how much difference I noticed, and the difference was profound. I love the Huda Faux Filter foundation stick way more. Better coverage, better staying power for sure. Just thought I'd point that out. Real Techniques is going to draw you in with this, okay? They've got this beautiful little stand here and this sponge that's like, what? Okay, this blows up big. They may as well have not even put a point on it because it blows up so big, that point's not fitting into anywhere really on your skin. Like, it's cute. This is cute and satisfying, but that sponge is like too big, too shapeless, okay? Sorry. And then also from Believe Beauty, my precious Believe Beauty, they have mini sponges, this 3-piece sponge set, and they're a little too firm, okay? Even after you get them saturated and you know you've kind of wrung the little mini sponge out and you're getting ready to maybe do some concealer or something like that with them, they're a little too firm. Here's where Real Techniques wins with their mini sponges. These are fantastic, and they're actually really great if you've kind of wondered what's the function of a mini sponge in my routine. I think they work well for like blending out your concealer and stuff, but they're also nice for a touch-up too. If you've ever returned to your makeup area and you've still had a damp one kind of sitting there, it can be a nice little refresh on the under eye, either if you're applying a slight bit more concealer or you just want to dab over a somewhat cakey looking area. They're really nice for that. But I feel like those Believe ones are just a little too firm. But yeah, I think that's everything I had to discuss, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please let me know what your favorites of the month are down below, and I will see you again very soon. I love you. Bye.